Hello everyone, on this video I want to talk a little bit about tier 3 and future tiers of gears and if we are getting tiers too soon, too quickly, which is making everyone efforts like really frustrating. It's causing a lot of burnout, a lot of gears getting outdated and everything, prices keep going down because of that, and it's very frustrating. So I see a lot of people saying they're gonna quit, they're done with the cycle of the grind. You don't have time to enjoy what you grinded for. You get to the end game and you barely use it. So when I put on my perspective, personally, I always manage to get full build for the tier, not including legendary, at least 3 months, around 3 months before the change of tiers. But I also agree it's pretty fast for a lot of casual players slash new players to catch up, so it's really hard. But I wanted to compare something that I think a lot of people are missing, and it's the fact that the global version is a packed version of the Korean version. With that, I mean, the reason why we're getting a lot of things so quick is because the game has been out for way longer on Korea, so things were getting pushed forward so we could catch up to Korea. So let's take this for comparison. The global version of Throne released on October 1st, 2024. The version of Korea was released on December 7th, 2023. Alright, that's fine. But the third time we got Talandri, Tier 2 region, not the dungeons, the region, was on March 6, 2025 for the global, and August 21, 2024 for the Korea. Now, if we compare the gap of Tier 1 to Tier 2 from global, it's 156 days. Alright, that sounds okay. But if you get the Korean version, it's actually 258 days. So they had 3 more months of Tier 1 than we had, around 3 more months of Tier 1 than us on global. So that's why here felt fast, because it definitely was way faster than in Korea. Now, if we pick the legendary release, it was on June 26, 2024. Well, sorry, 2025, when the first legendary raid was released, the normal one. And for us, it was a gap of 112 days. But for the Korea, was a gap of 309 days. So for us, took around 3 months and a half to get legendary gear. For them, took 10 months after Tier 2 had released to get legendary gear. So you can see already the huge gap starting to form here. Around that time, a little before the legendary gear, was when we finally caught up to the Korea version, and that's very important, and I'm gonna be talking a little bit about it later. But just keep in mind that now we are in the same version as the Korea, right? And they're also gonna be getting Tier 3, as same for us, on September 18 of 2025. For us, from the Tier 2 to the Tier 3, the gap was 196 days, okay? So it was a little over 7 months. For the Korean version, it was a total of 393 days. So that's over a year. It was a year and a month of gap between Tier 2 to Tier 3. So you can see like the Korean version had a lot of more time for every grind that they got, like from Tier 1 to Tier 2 to Tier 3, going to Tier 3, right? They had almost double the time to grind and kind of enjoy their full gear, right? Because I see a lot of people saying that I wish I had enjoyed more my full gear set. But I also see a lot of people that say once they got full gear on Tier 1, they quit because Tier 2 was not released yet. So the content was not released fast enough, even though it was half of the time in Korea. So it's definitely something that is important to discuss. I think the people that get frustrated the most are probably people that spend money into the gear because they cannot enjoy the gear longer than like a few months, let's say like that, right? But regardless, I think it's important to note that the global version had much shorter times to grind and enjoy the gear because we were catching up to the Korea. But now that we are on the same game as Korea, we are getting Tier 3 now dungeons. We are getting the Tier 3 region with Drago, I don't remember the name, but something like that. It's gonna be probably be releasing soon. And it's gonna take a decent time, probably over a year, for the Tier 4 to release for both regions. So I just wanted to put this out there because I see a lot of people doing the game over this specifically, the changes of gear being too quick, the changes of tier. But you should remember that it was because we were trying to catch up to Korea, and now that we are caught up with Korea, the tier 3 to tier 4 is actually probably gonna take over a year. So it's gonna be way more similar to the Korea time, around like 8 to 12 months until a new tier gets released. Uh, so I think it's something really interesting to think about. I think this will make a lot of people that were worried about grinding everything again, just for losing it all again when a new tier release, to be calmer, because now there's definitely gonna be more time for you, not just to grind, but to play with your full gear during this time. But that's about it. I just wanted to make this video in comparison so people can understand a little better why tier 1 and tier 2 felt so rush compared to what we should be getting now and should be a longer gameplay. Thanks for watching, see ya.